So my job here as Executive Director of Cardiovascular Services, really it's a broad role to ensure that we have a quality program that's continuing to strive for the best in quality outcomes. It's also engaged with my physicians, so I have 47 cardiologists that practice here. I have 6 cardiac thoracic surgeons that practice here, and about 7 or 8 vascular surgeons, as well as multifaceted across neurosciences and other things that might come across my desk. So we're always thinking about how do we partner with our physicians, how do we really have their best interest in mind, and why would they want to come here versus going to a competitor or to someplace else. So we talked about zero gravity and why would we look at zero gravity. So it came to us about 1.5 years ago, and the original concept was to protect the physician. And I also have multiple staff members that work in the cath lab, and I'm probably like any other administrator, what's in it for our staff? And I think you have to look beyond that. You have to look on what's driving the business to your cath labs, and it's the physician input, it's the physician referral. And we have about 12 interventional cardiologists that practice here. I have 4 electrophysiologists that practice here. And I have to really look at, and probably what came to light is I had 2 physicians that had to quit doing procedures because of spinal stenosis. And that directly had an impact, a negative impact on my volume in the hospital. So the physicians actually brought it to my attention and said, this is a game changer, this is something that we need to do. So we originally purchased two devices. One was a portable and one was a permanent, so we could get a feel of what we really wanted. And I can tell you that it was very quickly adapted and that physicians were asking for it in all of our labs. And I know from an administrative viewpoint, you're looking at it and saying, why would I do this investment? And my point is, why wouldn't you? And so for the example I would give is that one of our interventionalists, generally on his days that he's working here, does about 10 to 12 hours in our cath lab. And he said he actually comes into the lab and goes out at the end of the day of the lab with no fatigue whatsoever. And that was quite different what he was experienced prior to having zero gravity at his disposal. We already know that we're going to experience a physician shortage in the years to come. Why not invest in them now and have a return on your dollar initially, if not immediately? Even over the long period of time, it's going to really show up on your bottom line. So I don't really see that administrators should have a choice at this point in time. It should be a standard of care that we're giving our physicians, and they'll love you for it, and they'll want to practice in your facility because it is an easier place to practice. When we first were reached out to by Zero Gravity and CFI, they're very professional when they came into our facilities. They ensure that when the product's delivered and it's installed, it's seamless. Everything is done with top quality of care, understanding what your cath labs are, so we try and not shut down our cath labs and we do them after hours or we do them on the weekend for installation. And they truly have become partners when we're looking at partnering together for the future. I can't find better partners when you're looking at the holistic approach and making sure that when they're here to deliver the product, it's done the right way the first time. So they've been tremendous partners with that in regards. I go back to what's the cost of physician practicing in your facility? What's the cost of training that physician? If he can practice 2 years, 3 years, 5 years longer, what's the return on investment by keeping that physician here? And I think when you look at the overall investment that you're making and the long-term investment you're making, this will far outweigh itself in the long run. All I'm saying is that the technology that we're talking about today is a game changer. Because if you can get that physician at the end of the day to walk away and be not sore, not dreading the next day when they have to come back to the lab, you're a winner.